in ministry lies the understanding of his complete and total surrender to God. This is why I believe Paul said, even in Philippians chapter number 1, he said, for me to live is what? Christ. And to die is gain. He understood that his life was a life of complete and total surrender. And this clearly explains, brothers and sisters, that we must grow to a point that nothing else matters in life other than pleasing God, seeing the work of God be done in our lives. Now, when we look at this, Paul says these words, and I want to pull out one word here and lift one word from the text, and that word is serve. It is the same word that is translated as worship. Now, I believe that some of us may not have a complete understanding of worship. Some of us look at worship as a genre of music. And we try to get fancy in the Pentecostal church. And we say anything that's fast, that's praise. And anything that's slow, that's worship. You say if it sounds like, that's praise. But if it's slow, it's worship. But can I declare to you that worship is not just a genre of music? When we think about worship, it literally means to place value on something. It means to place worthship on something. In other words, Paul is saying here that, and he uses that word again, serve, which is translated worship. He says that I place high worthship on my relationship with God. In other words, brothers and sisters, what we have to come to understand is that every believer should have the same focus and the same commitment. That we should be connected in terms of our worship. How do we place God in our lives? Is he really worth it to us? Is he really worth it? Because what you love, I'm going to say this and I hope y'all don't get mad. But what you love, you give to. Not only this, but what you love, you are willing to sacrifice for. And we've learned this lesson before, but we'll say it again, that the true evidence of love is always seen in sacrifice. John chapter number 3, verse 16 makes it clear when John says, for God so loved the world that he what? He sacrificed. He gave. So never let anybody tell you that they love you and they're not willing to give anything for you or to you. Remember that the true evidence of love is always seen in sacrifice. If they're not willing to sacrifice, there is no evidence that true love really exists. But here he says, not only this is the God that I serve, but that word again translates into worship or worthship. In order for us to truly dissect it, he's simply saying that worship is simply the core of what keeps him in a place where he is committed. Can I even suggest this, and I want y'all to understand this, and this may be a controversial statement I'm about to make, but when we look at the essence of what true commitment is, we must understand that commitment actually runs deeper than love. Ooh. Do me a favor and say, neighbor, let's be real tonight. If we really would pay